I'm just going to start diving straight into what we're going to be doing today. And this is going to be a bit of an interactive session. So I would love for you guys to keep the conversation going in the chat. I want us to get to know each other. I want to make sure that we're learning a whole bunch of stuff around delivering projects for clients. But mostly, I'm going to share a few secrets to completing projects ahead of schedule. Now that might sound a little foreign to a lot of us when it comes to how can we actually complete projects before the due date when we have clients that steer them off rails. So this is exactly what we're going to be covering. So to get to know you guys a little bit, I would like to know how many deadlines did you miss in 2021? Give me a number in the chat so we can get to know each other a little bit and can understand what where I can serve you best. So how many deadlines did you guys miss in 2021? Give me one or two. One for none, two for too many. All right, we got Rawson saying two. Let's see what else we have here. And we got you, Rawson. Don't worry, we're going to fix this. Okay, I got two from Mike here. Let's see, what are some of the other guys? We have loads of people here. Tina giving us a two. I want to get some interactions. Let's wake up. I know it's midday and you might be even preparing lunch while you're watching this. So hold off on the lunch because this is going to be really interesting. And we're going to see how to make those twos into ones. And I also want to kind of learn from you, what are you guys hoping to get from this event, from this session that we're doing together? So type in the chat here, deadline, scale, profit, or clients. Maybe you want to get clients to the deadline ahead of schedule. Maybe you would like to know how to scale the agency. And we're going to talk about some customer acquisition strategies that you're already doing, but we can push them further, a lot further, with the right methodology. Maybe you want to increase some profits on all of the projects this year in 2022. Maybe you want to get some more clients through the door, through the referral flywheel. So Tina is giving us deadline and profit, getting the clients to the deadline ahead of schedule. That's perfect. And increasing profitability on all of our projects. We have scale and save time building. Okay, I love that. I've got a little bit of each of them. Perfect. Okay, guys, I'm gonna dive in. So I want to introduce myself really quickly. So my name is Vito, and I'm the founder of Atarim and Bertha.ai. I'm a CEO, I'm an agency owner, and I'm also a rather fresh father. So my daughter just turned one a couple of months ago. So she's now at that perfect age where she just loves everything around her, and I'm enjoying that very much. And I built my first website when I was 14 years old. That was back in GeoCities. If you guys remember what that was, we got 10 megabytes for free. That was in my parents' place, taking over the phone line for 1 hour a day, building a website. And I released 2 albums worldwide later on as I took my knowledge of the web into knowledge of music and kind of started touring Europe as the leader of a rock band. Then I kept improving my design skills through the band. So we needed to create flyers, we needed to create websites, we needed to create t-shirts and all of those kind of stuff. Really helped refine my design skill. But then as we were traveling through the world, it was kind of boring in the back of a van, living from the back of a van. So I started building websites for clients, literally from the back of a van, stealing Wi-Fi from McDonald's as we were passing by. And that was the beginning of my web design career. And you can see me right here building the website from that van. Then later on, once I turned 30 and it wasn't really cool to live in a smelly van with a bunch of other guys anymore, I would kind of put an end to the band life and I settled here in London in the UK. That was my first office. And the reason why someone is that close is because you couldn't walk back. There was a wall behind it. It was like a tiny half a room type of box room here. And then I started growing an agency and we scaled up the agency to 12 team members within 3 years before we started building Atarim as a platform that was initially there to help me and our team serve our clients better and help deliver projects and really remove a lot of the bottlenecks that happen within the agency. And that was 2 years ago. And over the past 2 years, I had the privilege and opportunity to work with thousands of agencies to help them scale up their business, speed up their project delivery after founding Atarim. And I'm very happy to say that just last year, we reached 5,000, 2 years in, we reached 5,000 agencies and freelancers that are enjoying our platform and are seeing the same results that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. So who is this for? If you're trying to avoid being the bottleneck of your agency, maybe you're feeling that some costs are spiraling out of control. I know I've been there, especially as you're trying to grow. Maybe you are the first point of contact for all of your clients and they're just doing your head in, just trying, you need to babysit your agency in order for it to run. You can't take time off. Everything is just going through you. Or maybe you want to gain a scalable business model that is not only dependent on you, that you can take things to the next level and focus on the things that you enjoy within the business instead of just moving papers throughout the day. And I've been there for years myself. An agency that can run by itself without you. Maybe you want to increase your regular monthly recurring revenue. I'm going to share how you can do that, as well as maybe you want to gain some more time so you can do the important stuff that are important to you, whether it's spending time with family or doing more prospecting or training the team or even just sitting and designing. So I'm going to go back to you guys and thank you, Tina. Thanks, Mike, for the congrats here. I want to learn a little bit about your own workflow. So let me know in the chat here. If you were to build a website on your own, no client involved, just you, your computer, your browser, and your favorite page builder, and you needed to build a basic small business website, I'm talking 5 to 10 pages, how long would that take you? On your own, you have everything that you need, just need to dive in and do the work. How long would it take you to build that website? Let me know in the chat. We got 4 hours from John. I love it. Yeah. How long would it take us? We got a few hours from Rawson, right? Really fast when we're doing it on our own. We got 4 hours. We got a few hours here. Let me get some more of these answers before I move on to the next question here. How long would it take? We got Mike saying a day. That's fair enough. We got including design time, about a week total from Cynthia. That's awesome. We got a few hours if all the material was available. We got a weekend from Mike. Okay, perfect. Now, how long would that take you if there is a client involved? Not just you, with a client that is, oh, I actually flipped it, right? So basically it's to a client, and now this is on here. So with a client, we got 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes multiple by 3 or more with a client, right? So John, that's still pretty good because it took you just 4 hours. So 12 hours with a client for John. I love that. Probably a little longer, right, John? We got 6 to 8 weeks sometimes. That's fair enough. That's really is very much within the average of what we're seeing in our industry. Let me know, Mike, how long does this take you? Andrew, how about you? We got 8 to 12 weeks from Mike. That's great. And right, extend into weeks. So for Tina, right? So we're moving basically from days or from hours down to weeks, only longer to get to having everything needed. I didn't add that in, right? Yes. So I'm talking start to finish, as soon as you do the discovery or as soon as you get the proposal signed until the website is live, John. As a client of someone else, we built a successful website in 1 day, full day. As a client of someone else, that's great. Okay, that's awesome, Andrew. So what we're seeing in the industry as the averages for these two, without a client, about 3 to 5 days. Considering everything, getting the website from installing WordPress all the way to getting it live and deployed on the on a live environment, right? With the client, the average is 4 to 6 weeks. So what's going on here? Why does a 3 to 5 day build become a 4 to 6 weeks project? And this is what we're usually seeing. We're seeing loads of client delays, procrastination, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, scope creep, adding things that we didn't consider initially. Sometimes they don't even know what we're expecting of them. Sometimes we're just waiting for them to learn how to do the things that we need from them, right? So this is kind of crazy when we look at it like this. 83% of the time, or if we're flipping it, this is basically, and someone said it here 3 times longer, it's actually 300% longer, just because we added just even one collaborator into the flow, into the project. So today we're going to focus on that 83%, the collaboration aspect of the build. Now, would you guys agree, after seeing this and after letting me know about your personal experiences, and again, that was me for years, this is really the reality that a lot of us need to deal with in our businesses. Would you agree that we got to do something different in order for us to make a change and to take us from this place or to a more reasonable time scale from 3 to 5 days, 4 to 6 weeks? That's crazy, right? It takes longer because nobody knows what they want until they see it. I like that, John, and I'm going to refer back to this comment because this is great. So let me guys know, are you in? Do you think we need to make a change? Do you think this is fine? Do you think it's reasonable that a website that would take us 3 to 5 days should take 6 to 8 weeks? Does that sound reasonable? Right? Imagine if we're going to any service provider, if they have one client that is joining the process, let's say a plumber, would they take them a work that would take them a day to do would actually take 2 weeks to do just because there's a client involved? If we're going to fix our car, would that happen with a mechanic? Would that happen with a doctor? Why does this happen in our industry? So sometimes it even feels like it's climbing a full mountain for us, and even worse for our clients by the end of the project. And I think a good representation of this experience can come from the construction world, right? If you guys have ever done any construction work at your home, it's very challenging to get the project done. There's a lot of sweat, blood, and tears to just get the project to completion, right? So in our space, maybe it's not a 2-year process. In some cases, it can be. We had a client that we were waiting for more than a year for her to deliver the About Us page, just that one piece of content. Every week there was back and forth, back and forth. Why can't you do that? Why are we waiting for so long? And she came up with excuses. We tried to get her on calls. We tried to do meetings just to try and help her get past this hurdle, but this really never happened. And more than a year until eventually this happened, right? Lots of begging for content and profile photos, right, Tina? Yeah, this is our reality. And it really feels like we're trying to climb a really steep mountain when we're doing this work with a client. On our own, easy. Me and the computer, give me a couple of days, a couple of hours sometimes, and you get it done. But imagine how it is even from the client's point of view. So for us, we even do this on a daily basis. For the client, it's the first time or maybe the second time. The last time that they did it probably been a couple of years ago, and now they're doing a redesign. So it's not something that is in their day-to-day, in their day-to-day reality that they need to experience. But then what happens from our point of view? We just kind of get to them and just say, get me the content straight away, go, go, go. And for us, sometimes it's really easy to just blame it on the client. But if we're really thinking about our position in this relationship, we're not there to just tell them, get me the content, go, go, go. We are the service providers, and they are relying on us to deliver the service, right? They want us to help them climb that mountain. But without us providing them with the proper equipment, with proper knowledge, it's going to be very difficult for them to do the work, which is then causing them to just not know what they need to do. And if they don't climb, maybe they're too scared to climb, or they're just frustrated, or they just don't know. We get frustrated and sometimes even get to a place where we call them lazy. Nah, this guy's not serious about getting this project done. And this guy, he paid the deposit and then he didn't do anything for months, right? He's crazy. What's wrong with this guy, right? So I hear this mentality a lot, and I've said these sentences myself to my team. My team member said this to me as we were going through projects. A lot of the time we shifted the responsibility, not realizing that we are the service provider. And what we really want to do is we want to help the client on board with us. We want to take them through this journey. We want to create some kind of a natural learning curve that they can experience the build with us, so that they can give us all of the things that we need throughout the project. So today, I'm going to share 3 stories, as well as some of my personal experiences with service delivery, and how we and these guys managed to do this in a very efficient way. So what these guys did is not extremely special. They just figured out that their position in that relationship is not to just ask for stuff, is to actually support and serve the client. And we're going to see how they did this exactly. So through these stories, we're going to explore the 3 secrets that I talked about at the beginning. Secret number 1, how can we avoid becoming the bottleneck of our own agency? Secret number 2, how can we create a scalable process that we can put the different projects into that have similarities that we can apply to the different projects, even if we're doing them at scale, even if we have teams that we need to delegate this work to. Secret number 3, getting clients should be the last thing to worry about. And I'll tell you exactly why. So let's start with secret number 1. Are you the bottleneck of your agency? I know that I've been that. And let's look at Dan here. This is a great example of this. So Dan is an agency owner from Proactive Code. Proactive Code is an agency here in the UK. And they build small to medium business websites for clients, like a lot of us, right? So Dan's day used to look like this. Every morning, he would open his email, his inbox, and he would see all of these requests from the different clients coming into his inbox. He would process them, add them onto a spreadsheet. Then he would go to Slack and notify his team that there are stuff waiting for them on the spreadsheet, right? This can be a spreadsheet, this can be a project management system, whatever, some kind of a tool to have all of those things. Dan did this with a spreadsheet. Then the team would go to the spreadsheet, have a look at the task, go back to Dan to ask them any questions about some of the requests that he added on there. Then Dan would go back to the clients, wait for them to reply, come back, update the spreadsheet, let the team know so they can check it out again. And once they have all of the information that they need, then they could do the work. But that didn't end there, right? They would go back, update after the work, update the spreadsheet that the work is done, go back to Dan to let him know that it's done, so he can go back to the clients and let them know that it's done, right? And this is on top of all of the other stuff that Dan has to deal with. So that's finding new clients, managing the team, taking care of HR, growth research, client relations with existing clients, writing contracts, sending out proposals, training his team, doing the finances, sending out invoices, building the strategy for the next year, maybe for the next project, maybe for the next care plan client, doing sales calls, all of these stuff. Do you guys see yourself in this? Do you see how this experience is kind of weird? But we're all falling into that same place because we're starting off as individuals, and then we're starting to branch out from within, instead of creating the system that will allow the project and the work to flow. So really what we want to see here is a system that collects all of the requests from the clients, that the team can pick up those requests, not because they have everything that they need because the client provided. The clients are not going to provide you with all of the information that you need, mostly because they don't know. They don't have the tools, they don't have the know-how to provide us with all of the information that we need. So we need that system that will allow us to get that information without them giving this to us. Then they can jump in and do the work. So this is the flow. Now, one thing that is missing from this slide is Dan, right? Dan is not even in this picture. So I wanted to show you how that kind of briefly looks, but really we can automate this. I'm going to try and make this call, this session as tool agnostic as possible, even though I'm going to show you just quickly a little bit about Atarim and what we're doing there to help you guys systemize all of this work. But basically what Atarim does, it allows you to get all of those requests into a centralized hub of communications, whether it's from the different websites, whether it's from the different emails, and then set statuses, distribute all of the work to the different team members. You get all of the information that you need from their view without you needing to ask for screenshots or anything. So they would give you just that 1 or 3 words sentence, and you would have all of the information automated through the process. Now, one thing that happened through this thing is that Dan bought back 3 hours of his day, because for 3 hours, he was getting every single day, he would get the emails, sift through them, send requests back for more information. Once he got the information, update the spreadsheet or the project management tool, go back to the team, get them to understand. So have some conversations with them to see if they have the full clarity that they need, and so on. 3 hours a day adds up to 783 hours per year. That is based on 256. So we're not counting weekends, holidays, and all of that. 783 hours every single year that Dan was spending just doing this. I like to look at this like the call center ladies that were back in the 50s, right? All day long, they just patched things together. That was Dan's life. That was my life for a few years, just doing this all day long. So what Dan did is install the system that placed him outside of the day-to-day relations, so that he can focus on the other stuff that we need to deal with as agency owners. Secret number 2, creating a scalable and optimized process. And with this, I'm going to share some information from Christina. Christina is working at Newfold Digital. She's the head of projects at Newfold Digital. Newfold Digital is one of the biggest agencies in the world. You probably know them because they recently bought Yoast just a few months ago, about 3 months ago. They bought Yoast at a massive acquisition, and they also own Bluehost and HostGator and a bunch of other hosting companies. Their model is really interesting. They buy hosting companies as lead magnets for the agency, right? So they bring customers from the hosting to create projects for them. Really cool model. Now, what that gives them with companies like Bluehost and HostGator and all of that, that means that they're doing hundreds and hundreds of projects every single month. And they have a team of more than 100 people that are building websites for clients through that platform. Hundreds every single month. They churn them out. And with a team of 100, with all of the expertise and with the budgets, that is sometimes hard to imagine, what they managed to do is they managed to optimize their service delivery, their project delivery to 30 days. This is how far they managed to take this, which is much better than the 8 weeks standard, 6 weeks standard, right? Just 30 days, that's 1 month. But 1 month after they started implementing the system that I'm going to share with you here, and I'm going to show you exactly how that applies, they went from 30 days down to 14 days. So you can imagine what that would do at this type of scale. This is millions of dollars in additional profitability or additional profits to that part of their business. So they had 2 options. They could either double the capacity and go from hundreds to a little more than 1,000 websites every month, or they could fire half of the team and double the profits instantly. I'm happy to say that no one got fired. and they are well on their on track to get into more than 1,000 projects per month, just because they now have the capacity without hiring any additional team members. So let's see how they did this. And this is the scalable process and the system that I was talking about, right? So this is what you would usually see in most of the project, in most projects around our industry. When we get the proposal signed, we get the deposit paid, we're going to take them into a discovery session. After that, we're probably going to do a sitemap. Not all of us, some of us are going to do a sitemap. The ones that do are going to win, and I'll show you why. Then after that, we're going to go to wireframes. Not all of us, some of us skip this stage as well. And the ones that do it are going to win. And I'll show you exactly why. A lot of us, what we do is we go from discovery straight into the development and design and starting doing revisions, right, with the client before we get the project launched. And then ideally get them on a care plan to start building that, nurture that relationship for years and years to come. This is extremely important because the real profit when it comes to the agency model doesn't happen on the initial project. It happens on the back end. It happens on the additional work and the additional relationship that we can expand with each one of our care plan clients. So when I say care plan clients, it's not just getting them on a $50, $100 plan, forgetting about them. It means nurturing those clients to take them from 50 to 100 to 500 to 3,000 per client, as long as they can afford it and as long as we can provide enough value to justify the work for them, right? We want to grow with them. So it's not a matter of not talking to them. I don't want to talk to my clients, right? I've been in that mindset for a long time. And then I realized that they are actually the ones that are allowing me to grow the business, the existing clients. So I started talking to them, nurture them, and we went from having people on a $50 to $100 type of care plans to having clients that were paying $5 grand, $3 grand every single month to do more work. So another thing that we can see here are the top 3 bottlenecks that happen within the agency model. The first thing and the toughest one, and I can see Tina's comment here, lots of begging for content and profile photos, right? Gathering content. This is the evil of our industry. And I'm going to show you right on the next slide why that happens. But this is the biggest hurdle for us getting to the deadline on time. And usually what happens is that straight after the discovery or even right after they sign the proposal, we send them off to get the content, go, right? Like in the slide in the beginning. Then we have the design approval. That's the second biggest bottleneck in our project delivery, getting them to approve the design with quality and on time. So it doesn't just resort to make the logo bigger, but we're actually getting quality feedback from them that is actionable and that will help them, not just say something for the sake of saying it. And then finally, and the smallest one, but also a huge time waster, is quality support requests, making sure that we get all the information that we need from them in a reasonable amount of time so we can serve them without sending another message back. Which screen are you on? Which device are you on? What browser are you using? Which button? There's 500 buttons on the website. The product is missing. Which product? 2,000 products on this website, right? So all of these back and forth, we want to make sure that we get the information that we need straight away so we can tackle the problem without prolonging those communication cycles. So let's start with the biggest one, gathering content. So why do clients delay on content delivery? So there's 5 reasons why this happens. And I would love for you guys to let me know here in the chat which ones apply to you. Give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe all of them. I know that I've done all of them as I was trying to figure these things out. I experimented and I fell into each one of these traps within our service delivery before figuring out that these were just the symptoms of so these are just the symptom of the problem. Right, we have Cynthia saying 1, give them 4 or 5 items per week. That's a cool idea. Let's see what else, guys. So as you're dropping this in there, I'm just going to dive in because I'm conscious of the time here. We're framing the task as a 2 to 4 weeks task, right? A 2 to 4 week task is no longer a task, it's a project. Now, we're all business owners here. I want to ask you in a very open and honest way, when was the last time that you had between 2 to 4 weeks to drop everything in your business and focus on one thing? Right? Never. It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist, right? We're just doing everything at the same time, right? So how come we're expecting them to do this? Now, we know that it's not really 2 to 4 weeks. It's actually a few hours, but we expect you to do this in the next 2 to 4 weeks, right? But they don't know. So what we're signaling to them is that this actually takes 2 to 4 weeks. And how can someone find time in their calendar to block 2 to 4 weeks to do anything? It just doesn't make any sense. So I like Cynthia's idea here of creating 4 to 5 because this is something that they consume. But I would even say that we're all business owners. If I would ask you to talk about your business, you would just talk about your business. You don't need 2 to 4 weeks to talk about your business. If I would ask you about you, right, about your company, about your team, you don't need 2 to 4 weeks to say an about us page, right? You don't need 2 to 4 weeks to say what your services do, right? Each one of your services. It's just a conversation. Websites are built like conversations. So we just want to get that into their reality and into their experience that you can already do that. It's just what we're doing instead is we're doing this second problem. We're sending them off to get the content for 2 to 4 weeks without giving them any context or clarity on what is expected of them, right? So we would send them to a blank Google Doc and tell them, I need the content. We might send them to a spreadsheet that has H1 says this, H3 says that, right? No context, no visual representation of what we're actually expecting of them. And now the interesting thing about this is that for us, it seems super obvious. If I'm going to get a Google Doc that says this is going to be the title, and then we're going to have an area that talks, I need 3 benefits. They should be 1 sentence, then 2 paragraphs. And, to me, that would make sense because I can take this, can close my eyes, and I can picture how this is going to look. This is my reality because I built close to 1,000 websites in my career. You don't need 1,000. Even after you do 5, 10 websites, you already start to see the matrix, right? You start to develop this sense of closing your eyes and seeing how the website is going to be laid out. They don't have it, so it's very much, let's look at this from a different perspective. A musician can close their eyes or they can just imagine a song. They can imagine a structure of a song. They can imagine a melody, and then they can pick up their instrument and make that melody a reality. They can just start playing. Same way that we can picture this image in our mind and then go to the browser and build that website, right? A good mechanic, a car mechanic can listen to a car and say, all right, you have a problem with your radiator. And this is because this is an old model from 7 years ago. And they had a situation back then that was right? I listen to the car and I hear a car, right? I mean, a regular person listens to a song, they hear a song. A musician listens to a song, they hear 3 backing vocals in the back left. They hear the bass drum beating every 3 quarters. They hear that there is a cymbal that is someone is writing the cymbal the entire song, right? They can hear it in 3D. They can see the matrix. We look at a website, we see color schemes, we see the layouts, we see even which page builder. I can look at a website and straight away say, oh, that's a Divi website. Oh, that's an Elementor website, right? So we can't expect our clients to have that same level of reality of the work that we're doing for them. So by throwing them into a blank Google Sheet or something like this, we just don't give them enough context or clarity as to what is expected of them. Now, another thing is asking for the content as soon as the project starts. So I want to introduce you guys to, and it's a little bit cold, but it kind of lands the point. I want to introduce you to the concept of relationships as a bank, right? So let's think of relationships as a bank. In order for us to make withdrawals, we have to make deposits. We can't withdraw something that isn't there. We can't go to overdraft. So with relationships, we have to make deposits first so that we can make these withdrawals. So let's see what really happens. I'm going to take you back to this slide. Where are we? What happens is that we finish the discovery and then we send off the client telling them there's 2 to 4 weeks for you to give me the content because we're going to get to here by then. And here is a blank Google sheet that you can start throwing the content in there. Here is a link to Dropbox, drop everything in there, right? By this point, we haven't done anything. All we did is we got paid and we talked about the possibilities, right? After the discovery, everyone is so excited about everything that can happen, but nothing still happened. It's just talking about the vision of the website, the vision of the business, the goals, the target audience. Where do you see yourself in 1 year from now? You know, all of these awesome questions that we asked through the discovery to help us actually do the project. But from the client's point of view, we didn't do anything. So that's why we're going to try and add those layers of really quick deliverables that take us literally minutes to execute on so that we can put some deposits into that bank before we make withdrawals, right? Let's go back to here. Asking for the content as soon as the project starts. Big no-no. Expecting the client to know how to do it. We kind of covered this, right? Why? Why would they know? If I go to a doctor, they wouldn't ask me what to do. Or I would even say, like, you know, expecting them how to get things done. And I'm going to get to this here. And so, you know what, let's get into this one. Threatening the client with a contract clause. Who here has a contract clause that says that if the client doesn't provide the content, we're going to deliver the website without it, right? Let me know. No, good, Cynthia. I have it, right? If they're not going to do it, then I'm going to finish the work, right? That's the standard thing that happens in our industry. Now, we have to create the content. Okay, I like that. Okay, that's great. So that is one of the biggest things that we want to try and avoid. And I know that some of the people that are here on the session have this, right? Because this is the standard thing. If you look at a standard web agency contract, it would have this. So let's look at this from a different perspective. And again, with this one in mind as well. If we're going to go to a restaurant, we're expecting service, right? We're going to go, timing is flexible based on client's ability to provide content, right? So, okay. So Cynthia, you're not saying that we're going to finish this, but you're saying the project could take 7 years, basically, if they don't give you the content, right? So we want to make sure that we get to the end, but we also we don't need to open contracts. If we pull out a contract, it's already too late for that relationship. We want to make sure we empower them with everything that they need without us needing to get into legal talk, right? So imagine this. You go to a restaurant and you sit down, you have a look at the menu, right? Let's look at this. You have a look at the menu and you say, okay, this sounds really interesting. So I'm going to have this. I mean, thinking to yourself, I'm going to have this and I'm going to have that, right? You bring in the waiter and you tell him, what do you think about this dish? Oh, this is excellent. You should definitely have that. And if I may, I want to tell you about our specials and you should actually have this as well. This is from this chef's expertise and whatever, right? And he's like, okay, that's awesome. You're drooling already. And you say, okay, let's do it. I would like to have this thing on the menu. And the waiter would tell you, okay, no problem. Just please, you need to go and get me the ingredients now. And then I'll tell the chef that he needs to make the food. Okay. I can't, and it's like, what do you mean? I'm here at the restaurant. I just want to eat. Yeah. We're going to make the food, but you need to go and get the ingredients. I don't know how you're going to get them. I don't know where you're going to get them from, but you need to go and get them now. But just to let you know, and you actually signed off on this when you first walked in, that if you're not going to get me the ingredients, you still need to pay for the meal. right? Kind of crazy. So let's look at this from a mechanic point of view. We go to a mechanic, they're going to tell us, oh yeah, I know exactly what's wrong with the car. The car is already on the lift, right? It's already up in the air, and they're looking at it and I know exactly what you need. I just need you to get me the spark plugs from year 2017, but make sure that it's model 7Z, right? What do you mean? Go get the part and fix the car. No, 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 no. I'm going to fix the car, but you need to go get me the part somewhere, somehow. But because the car is already on the lift, you still need to pay the bill anyway. Crazy. That's what we do to our clients every single day. Every single day. This is the reality of our industry. So I'm going to show you how we can fix all of that. What we want to do is we want to gather the content, not here, not throughout the entire project. We want to do it right here. Okay. And how do we do that? After we did the discovery, within the same day, we're going to create a sitemap, really quick sitemap. You can do it. This is a sitemap. What you're seeing here on this slide, this qualifies as a sitemap for those small projects, right? I'm giving you guys an example of a small business website, but these principles can be applied to massive projects. We were doing projects from 2K, 2,000 pounds for project, all the way to 70,000 pounds per project at the agency. And we just use the same principles at different scales, right? So obviously the 70K project wouldn't take 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, but it would have taken more than a year if we wouldn't have done it in this way. So you do the sitemap really quickly. Ideally, within the same day, you already deliver this out. And then you get the wireframes created, and you can do this in the builder. No, you don't need to use Photoshop or anything like that. Inside the page builder, there's all kinds of, and I'm happy to share our free wireframes as well with anyone that wants them, that for every page builder, so that you can just drop it in and get those layouts in straight away. And then what happens is that you allow the client to provide you with the content visually on a page. So they can already look at the website and say, okay, this is the image that we need here. This is what this text, this area should say. This is what this button should say. They visually have that concept. Disha, I think Disha is still here on the call. Yeah, Disha, can you grab that link of the wireframes and share it in the chat, please? Okay, if not, I'll drop it in. So we talked about content. Now let's talk about getting clients comes last. And with this, I'm going to quickly share the story of Charles or Chuck from Easy IT Guys. They're based in the US, and they do loads of care plans, but also through the IT, they do redesigns of a lot of the websites and so on. So Chuck was looking for ways to get new clients. And I know that I was, again, in the same boat. I tried everything. And, sending out emails, cold calling people, driving paid ads, paying lead companies for just buying leads, just posting in different or communicating in different Facebook groups, working with Google ads, trying to SEO our website to be the top, reaching out to friends, posting on Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere, referrals. Now, I want to ask you guys, out of everything that you've ever done to drive business to your agency, what has worked best? What was the single thing that moved the needle for you when it comes to delivering, to acquiring new customers? Right, we have Cynthia saying referrals, Tina saying referrals, Andrew saying satisfied customers. That's great, yeah. They referred more people, right, Andrew? Yeah, perfect. So we got referrals from Mike. Referrals is by far the best and the most powerful way to grow a web agency in today's world. can try all this kind of stuff. We can spend a lot of time with them. And believe me, I've been on networking events on the Thames River, sipping champagne with other business owners, and everyone is trying to sell to each other, you know. You do these associations, you do all of those kind of weird stuff, but basically just doing great work and have them go out and be your hound dogs, right? Get them to bring the next customer. So I want to show you, and this is really what where the magic really comes into. Everything that we talked about today comes in as a single concept together. What I would like to propose is this project workflow. Again, we're talking small to medium business websites, right? Those 5 to 15 pages that we can churn out 3 to 5 days, a few hours for a few of our friends here on the chat, but we don't want them to take 8 weeks. Now, we can't get them to be like a couple of days if we do them properly. We can if we do that. There's this concept of the one-day website where most of the work is done prior, which still means that we got the client done. We got the client working way before, so we actually just build the website in a day, but that's not hard. We know that we can build a website in a day. The entire system is where things get stuck. So let's have a look at what I'm proposing here. Week 1, Monday, we do the discovery. We do the interviews of the discovery, right? So whoever we booked the week before, we schedule them in for a discovery session on a Monday. Get all the questions, everything that we need from them. 2 hours, really going deep, asking everything that we need, explaining the processes, explaining everything that will allow them to really know what we're trying to do and will give us the information of what they're trying to achieve. Then within the same day, it's going to take us maximum of 1 hour, usually about 20 minutes, to create a sitemap for them so we can deliver that within the same day. Now, what did we do by doing that? First, we made our first deposit into the relationship bank, right? By actually providing a deliverable, a small and fast deliverable that will allow us to do this. But then really what we did is we signaled to the client that, oh my God, these guys are on it. We just finished the call 2 hours ago, and now I have something that I need to review and I need to look at. So I should step up. What we're doing is we're building momentum into the project straight away. What others are doing, they send people off for 2 to 4 weeks to get the content and saying, I'm not going to do anything until you get me the content. We're killing the project even before it started. We're not, the old method doesn't build any sort of momentum into a project. It doesn't encourage any speed, any type of speed into the process itself. This will allow you to build that momentum, a quick, fast step. Then once we get this and we tell them, you have until tomorrow to review this. Well, how long does it take to review a sitemap? How long does it take you to look at this and say if you like this or to look at or you like this? Probably 5 to 10 minutes, right? So I'm expecting this by tomorrow. We're driving them into action. We're training them, creating a natural learning curve that guides them into short time spans and fast action. Then we can create those wireframes within a few minutes. Disha shared the link if you guys want to grab them. That is going to give you wireframes for all of the major page builders that you can do a page literally in between 6 to 8 minutes each page. If you have 10 pages, 1 hour. Okay. And then we send them off to this concept that I would. Then we're going to, okay, I'm going to introduce this concept in a minute, right? Then we go off to core pages with one revision round. And again, we're telling them that it's going to be, that they need to deliver this by tomorrow, 2 days max. Second revision round, this is just the core pages, homepage and blog page or product page, the core pages of the site. We have the second revision round where we're going into the rest of the pages of the, we're just updating whatever they did here. So we're doing the same revision round on the same pages. We're not distracting them with too much. And you see how we're taking them from the bird's eye view to understanding layouts, providing the content right here, 2 to 6 hours to create the content. And then we're starting the design, and we're not overwhelming them with too much information. We're not throwing them into a complete website and telling them, what do you think? Right? Which then says, oh yeah, let's try a different background color throughout. Oh my God, I need to go through the entire pages. So we're doing them step by step to get the clarity that they need in order for them to give us the feedback that we need. And then we do the rest of the website here. Week 3, we're already done. Just launching the website, we're doing our own checklist, and we send them, make sure that the website is live, have a look at this. This is awesome. Let's book a call already to talk about care plans. So when we send this email, we already book them into the call to get them on a care plan. And then we're going to provide amazing ongoing support as well, expand the revenue, and ask for these referrals. Now, what happens here? I would like to introduce you to another awesome concept here. This is the 2 days and the weekend. Every time that we need to do a big revision or a big thing with a client, it should be framed as a 2 days and a weekend, not 1 week, not 4 days, 2 days and a weekend. And I'll tell you why. When you say you have 2 to 4 weeks, when you say you have 1 week to do this, you don't get access to their calendar because it's too broad, it's too vague. When you say 2 days and a weekend, that gets them thinking, oh, wait, when am I going to do this? I'm actually away this weekend. So they can let you know so you can organize around it. But if you're going to say you have 1 week, yeah, I'm going to do it sometime this week. So what we want to do is we want to get them thinking. The 2 days and a weekend concept is going to get the client thinking when. So they can open up their calendar and figure out exactly when. Because if they don't do it in the next 2 days, they got to have to do it on the weekend. That's what was required of them. So when do we employ this? Here and here. Okay, 2 days and a weekend to do the content. More than enough. 2 days and a weekend to review the entire website. More than enough. What do you guys think? Do you like that? Let me know in the chat before I'm showing you what's going to happen after we finish this process. Yeah, okay, I'm going to dive straight in. Great stuff from Mike. That's awesome. That's a good process. Thanks, Rawson. That's awesome. Okay, brilliant. So what happened here? What we did is we took a 6 to 8 weeks project. 4, 6, 8 weeks. That's what we got on the chat. Start going into this session today. We finished the projects in 2 weeks. Week 3 is basically our onboarding for the next level of service, the care plan. Launching and getting them on a care plan. 2 weeks, the project is done. Now, I told you that clients come last, right? So have a look at this. The standard way of doing it, project time takes between 4 to 6 weeks. By the end of the project, we can ask for that referral. If we start to implement this concept and start to speed up our referral flywheel, what is going to happen is that we're going to triple the amount of referrals that we can get on that same amount of time. So on average, every client that you do work for, if you're providing good service, if you have them go through a process, if you're actually getting to the deadline, because unless you get to here, you can't ask for the referral. No one is going to refer a business to a mechanic that kept the car broken, right? No one is going to refer to a plumber that didn't fix the sink. So we have 6 minutes less. That's great. What we have here is those 2 weeks time spans so that we can accelerate this thing. What you can expect if you're providing good service is that a client would give you an average of 1.3 new clients to your business. Okay, some clients would give you 3, 4, 10. Some will give you none, but 1.3. So over time, all that you need to do is just build. Don't worry about marketing. Just serve the clients that you have right now and get them to become your hound dogs. Get them to bring more business to you. Over time, you're going to bring another team member that is going to do this again. So you do 6 at the same time. Then you do 9. Then that's how we scaled really fast. So Does this idea of having a system that allows you to scale as much as you want sound exciting to you guys? I want to share with you some of these new realities from other agencies. We got Andrew here, went from 3 weeks to 3 days with the system that I shared with you today, along with the tools that allowed him to literally 10x his profitability and double his yearly revenue without adding any team members to his team. We have George here that likes staying as a freelancer and went from 5 weeks to 10 days on his project delivery. After chasing a client for 9 months, I installed Atarim and the project was done and launched in 3 days. After 9 months, done in 3 days. This guy, Gary here, went from 4 months to 4 weeks. And Gary does amazing work for DC Comics and Marvel, and he has a really interesting niche. And it went from a delivery of 4 weeks down to 4 days. We have Eben does massive websites. So we have all kinds of agencies here. Andrew does small business websites. George is a freelancer, does like, most of them are just like very, very small businesses type of sites. We got Gary here that does kind of mid-sized projects, and even that does big projects. And he, a week before the launch, we haven't finalized even the homepage. I installed Atarim and we were live in 3 days. So we got 300 tasks done in 3 days by not one client. He had 20 stakeholders working on this project with him. So if you guys want to join us, and I actually want to show you, we got Mike, yeah, we need to wrap up. Oh, I got Adrian. So if you guys want to join us, you want to check out what Atarim is all about, I would like to encourage you to go and check out this free trial that we just launched recently. And you can check this one out and see if you can get the same results within your agency. Now, if you want to dive in a little deeper, I'm going into a lot more details into the process and how we're doing this. And I'm providing all of these templates for the different stages through our masterclass. And because of Adrian here invited me and was very gracious about this, I updated our page. And if you want to see the same result as some of these guys, we talked about Dan. We have Tatiana here that tripled their delivery. We have Alan that reduced 75% of the time that it takes him to build those websites and to serve his clients. Tom here went from 1 year to 6 months, and there's hundreds of these reviews on our website. You can jump in and take me up on this offer right now, $197, and you get lifetime access to our masterclass that will give you all of these informations, all of these templates, literal swipe files for every piece of communication that you need to send to your clients at every stage of the project. All the emails, what to say at the discovery session, what to say when you're delivering when you're asking for the content, and so on. Everything is straight up in there. So that's it for me, right on time, Adrian.